So, you want to know how to tie the best and one of the most versatile streamers in fly fishing, catching trout, pike, bass, perch and many more, then this video is exactly made for you. Stay tuned and keep on watching, I've even got some bonus tips for you. These are all the things we're gonna need for tying this fly. You're gonna need hooks, cone heads, fly tying yarn, marabou feathers, heckles, chenille, some shiny ribbon. This isn't necessary for the fly, but I'd recommend using it. Scissors, whip finisher, fly tying varnish, and a needle to put the varnish on the fly. Most likely you can already tell what I'm tying today. I'm tying a woolly bugger, and not just some woolly bugger, but a black one, because a black woolly bugger for me is the most effective streamer when trout fishing, perch fishing, whatever. And I caught and I'm still catching the most trout on this streamer when streamer fishing. So let's get straight into it. Alright, first we need the hooks. Just gonna open the box up, take one out. The very first thing you should do is, if there is a barb on this hook, which is, then you just go here and just clip the barb off, because in fly fishing we only use barbless hooks. Next we need the cone heads. Just gonna take a black one, black cone head, and then simply put this one on the hook just like this. Then set the hook in, make sure that it fits good, and next we need the fly tying thread. And just tie it around the hook a few times and take the scissors and cut off the end. Then we'll take the thread and go back just to the point of the hook where the straight part meets the curve. So next we'll need the black marabou feathers, tying a black streamer, so black feathers, and I'm just take one out there. This one's already used a bit. So what you want to do when fly tying with marabou feathers is you want to take just the right amount of feathers you need for the fly, and then you just strip it off just like that. Make sure there are no flyaways and stuff, and then you have to decide how long you want to make the tail of the streamer, because a marabou feather is for the tail. I'm using 1.5 to twice the length of the hook most of the times, so this is the length I'm going with. So you just take this with the left hand, and some people would just go there and try to tie it in like this, but that doesn't work. So there is a little trick. You can just bring the thread up and take it with your left thumb and index finger and just go around the hook one time until the thread is again on the upside, and then just add a little pressure, and as you can see, all the fibers stay on the hook and not around the hook basically. The fibers here in front you don't need really, so I'm just gonna cut them off with my scissor, and there you have the tail of the woolly bugger. Next you're gonna need the chenille. Just as I'm doing right now, you can free the thread inside of the chenille, because this one is easier to tie onto the hook. And just as with the marabou feathers, you tie it in, you tie it onto the hook, secure it a few times, and it's basically finished. I'm not a fan of estimating which length I need and cutting it off, so I'm just basically keeping this whole thing on and cutting it off in the end. The next thing you're gonna need, you don't have to use it, it's not necessary for the streamer, but as I said, I would recommend using it because it adds a little shine to the streamer, and I've had greater success with it than without it. It's this shiny ribbon, and it's in silver. You can also use it in gold or white or whatever, but silver seemed the most effective on black streamers, so I'm using silver all the time basically. And I'm cutting off just as much as I need, and also tying this onto the hook. And the last thing we're gonna need for this streamer is the heckle, also a black one of course. So usually when using these heckles you have very thin ones here, and you have thicker ones over here at the end. I'm using a thicker one because this gives the streamer more volume with the longer threads. And let's just pick one. I think this one would be good. As you can see, there is a lot of fluff on the beginning of the feather here, and we don't need that. We only need this back part. Alright, this seems good here, and I'm just gonna cut here with my scissor, and basically same as with the chenille, I'm gonna remove some of the threads here so it's easier to tie onto the hook, and I'm just gonna tie it on just like the other stuff I did before. Alright, now everything is on the hook. I'm gonna move my fly tying thread to the front. The only thing I have to do now is to wrap all the stuff around the hook basically, and I'm gonna start with the chenille. The chenille basically imitates the body of the fish. The streamer always imitates a fish, obviously. I'm just gonna wiggle this around here, and as you can see, this already adds a lot of volume, and when I'm in front I will just take my fly tying thread and secure it here for like 3 times, and then cut off the rest. The shiny ribbon, I'm just gonna spin the other way. It's very important to wrap these things around the hook evenly, because otherwise it just doesn't look nice. And just as with the chenille, if I can't go any further, I'll secure it in front and then cut the rest off. So now it still doesn't look like a fish or something with volume, and now the magic of the heckle happens. The magic of the streamer. On the one hand, the marabou feathers move very well in the water. If you strip the streamer in, the marabou feathers basically move just like a fish tail. On the other hand, there is this heckle with its lot of threads, and as you will see very soon, this heckle adds a lot of volume to the streamer. And as you know, fish don't only hunt with their side, but also with their lateral line, with which they can feel vibrations in the water, and if there are a lot of vibrations, they will most likely react to the streamer. And I think that's the big secret of this streamer. Because the shiny ribbon was wrapped this way, I will wrap the heckle this way again, and now you will see what I mean by a lot of volume. Because as you can see, the threads of this feather just rise basically, and they stand very far off the hook, and as you can see, this adds a lot of volume to the streamer. I like having longer threads in the back because they basically go over into the tail, and shorter ones in the front, so this is quite perfect here. And then you will also secure it in front. You just have to make sure to not secure any of these here, only secure the one in front. And also when cutting this one off, make sure you don't cut off any more you want to cut off. I'm cutting off these ones here in front as well, because they just don't look good. And yeah, there you have it. That's basically a woolly bugger. I'm just gonna use the whip finisher to finish off the fly. So basically what you do with the whip finisher, it's got 2 hooks, and you can just hook the fly tying thread, and then you spin it around once away from you, and basically you have a triangle. Then put the triangle towards the hook, spin it around away from you like 3 or 4 times, then remove the upper hook, pull the lower hook towards the fly, and then remove the lower hook. And I'm just gonna do this for 2 or 3 times, and then the fly is basically finished. I'm gonna cut off the thread. You have to make sure to not cut off any of the heckles, but only the thread, and cut it off closely. Perfect. And then I will add one last thing, which is the fly tying varnish. I've got a little needle here. I will just add a drop of fly tying varnish onto the thread, which I just secured with the whip finisher. Another one. And then I'm gonna let the varnish dry, and the fly is finished. As you know, a streamer mostly imitates small fish, but this one in black in particular can also imitate a leech. And leeches are one of the favorite foods of barbel, and barbels are like very nice to catch on the fly rod. They fight really strong and they're just beautiful fish. So if you use this streamer without the shiny ribbon and with a black cone head and maybe even upside down tied, then this is a really nice fly for barbel, because leeches, as some people know, they swim away if they get chased, just like a snake basically. So a barbel may attack this streamer very, very aggressively. Alright, that's all for today. I really hope you enjoyed this little bit different video from me. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like. It really helps me out, helps the algorithm and stuff. And also comment down below if you've ever fished a woolly bugger and which fish you've caught on it. And most importantly, make sure to subscribe for weekly fly fishing content every Monday. I can't go fishing right now because I'm injured, but I will go fishing very soon again. So you will see a lot more fly fishing content in the near future. If you want to see more fly tying tutorials, then please comment down below which fly I should tie, which fly you want to see, and I will make a video on it. Until next week, take care, goodbye.